Hello, welcome to the next session of staircase construction. My name is Serge Girimbawazi.
Here we have Habimana Ingabire Devota. We are both trainers at Rwanda Polytechnic School.
In the previous video, we analyzed the site, we saw stair types and their components.
Now let's continue with stair design and material preparation.
Hello everyone, my name is Benny Katavis. I'm a carpentry trainer at Rwanda Polytechnic School. After talking about the materials by which a staircase could be constructed, now the next session is about designing a staircase. The objective of this session is that by the end we will be able to design a staircase and apply some necessary calculations. Later on we will be able to select the materials and prepare them on the machine. What I can request is that you can follow attentively and if possible please take a paper and record some important notes. After the site study and analyzing the situation, now the next part is to determine the staircase and we try to design it. In our situation, we have found that we are going to work with a quarter-turn staircase. The quarter-turn staircase that you are going to do will be having two landings as you have seen. From the drawings that you can see here, this is our design, the quarter-turn staircase, which is with the lies and the thread with overlap. The rise is 17.5 centimeters and the thread is 300 millimeters with the overlap of 25 millimeters. With the second drawing, you find upper staircase flight, where you can see the position of the intermediate landing and the position of upper landing and the balustrade. With the third drawing, now you can recognize the number of threads which are there and the sizes of the going that we are having. After you are done with the flight, the next thing is to determine the sizes of the landings. As you have two landings, the intermediate landing and the upper landing, now it will be first, we'll need to determine the size of the intermediate landing as it is connecting the two flights at the same time, and later on you determine we design the upper landing or the exit landing as it is the one where our staircase will be exiting from. After that you have determined the type of staircase to be used and you have drawn it, the next thing is to prepare is wood catalog. The wood catalog that you have to prepare will be complying with all the components and all the single parts of the determining the staircase or designing the staircase. For better calculation of any staircase, let's talk about the standard sizes of stair components. The stair components to be calculated, they are lies, lan or thread, stringer, and stair with likewise the slope. Any lies of a staircase will have minimum size of 101.5 millimeters. The maximum lies is normally 200 millimeters, but the maximum permitted for special staircase is 220 millimeters. For lan or thread, the minimum normally is 250. The maximum is 300. The minimum permitted for a special staircase is 220 millimeters. Rise normally relates to the land. And the relationship between rise and land is that when we sum up one rise and land, we give the distance of 450 millimeters to 430 millimeters. And when you take two rises plus one land, it will sum up between 600 and 660 millimeters. The minimum for two-way traffic is 1,500 millimeters, means 1 meter 50. With staircase, you need to rise from one floor to another floor. Then the stair slope standard varies from 28 degrees to 40 degrees. With this, we are having rise-run ratio. The rise-run ratio normally is 17 to 29. With the standards, now let's talk about calculations. Before doing any calculation, you have to determine the slope of stairs to know if you do a straight stair or another type of stair. The slope is determined by total rise over the total line. The next step is to determine number of rises of the stairway, which is determined by the total height or the total rise over rise in rise-run ratio. After that, you will need to calculate the size of the rise selected or determine it. The size of the rise will be determined by the total height of a number of the rises that you have determined. The last thing to be determined is the trade. The trade will be calculated in such a way where we will be need to use the rise-run relationship. After that, we are done with our calculations. Now the next step is selecting materials. The staircase construction can be made either out of wood, timber, or metal, or mixed materials. Now a staircase is done out of wood as it is wooden staircase construction. In selection of the materials, you will need relevant tools. The first tool that you will need is an hydrometer. Hydrometer will be used to check the moisture content. The second tool that you might need is a folding ruler or a measuring tool to measure the size of the timbers that you are selecting. While selecting the timbers, there are things that you have to take into consideration. Means the timbers have to be straight to avoid bowing. The timbers have to be well dry to avoid noise later on, and they have to be out of most of other defects like splitting and knots. As the stringers that will be using, they will be requiring high distance. The most defect that we have to avoid in selection is the bowing. If we have, for example, this piece is much bowed, it is of course out of splits and knots. It was good for other defects, but because of this defect of bowing and we need the big distance, we can't use it. Means this one is out of our selection. Now if I check the next piece, it is straight, out of most of the other defects. The next thing to check is the moisture content. If I check the moisture content, it is really well dried. Now this is the piece that we can use for our task. After material selection, the next is preparation of the materials with the machine. We are going to use various machines, but what is needed the most is safety. Means you need ear protection, tight gloves and security shoes, mostly for all the machines. We are going to follow the steps as known in material preparation.
Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Once again, we have learned a lot from this.
As usual, you can find this video on the e-learning website of Rwanda Polytechnic for more repetition.
We welcome you again for the next session.
Until then, stay safe and
Goodbye.